Howard, how you doing today?
I am just great walking down the aisle. It's just, you guys need to be straightened out. So whether it's from a king or it's from a doctor, you guys need help, really help. And I've got to send you to a psychiatrist because all you think about is money.
What are you talking about?
Money.
Money makes the world go round.
No. You know what? You can be happy without money.
I don't see how. How? Explain that to me. How am I going to be happy without money?
Well,
Bills keep coming.
People can. People can be happy without money. I mean, it's just, not without money, but you don't have to get, every penny. It's just like when players sign contracts for hundreds of millions of dollars. That's, they have enough money for the lifetime of the lifetime of the lifetime of the lifetime of their kids. It's just when is enough? So it's not all about. So you need a psychiatrist. I'm not going to be a doctor, but I can refer you to one now that come May 3rd. I will be a doctor, so I will be part of that.
Look at you. Can't wait to that day.
I can't wait to hear it. All right, Howard, we got a lot to address here. And, of course, our big game coverage on 90 for WIP presented by Solo Stove. Feel the heat of the world's most popular smokeless fire pit, solostove.com. All right, Howard, we'll get to the Super Bowl stuff and your thought on the game. But, Howard, let's start with Joel Embiid because the surgery went down today. Howard, what's your feeling on what's going to happen here? They said they'll reevaluate in 4 weeks. Obviously, we don't know right now, but it's either going to be he's going to be out an extended period or he tries to come back. But Howard, as I'm watching the team, I don't even know if this is going to be worth it. They might fall to the play-in without him over the next 2 months.
Well, I don't believe a lot of what they say. They didn't tell us. They said a lateral, left knee lateral. They didn't tell. They knew what it was. I mean, these doctors today, it's you see an MRI, you know exactly what it is. So they wouldn't say that until things started to leak out. The surgery was successful. I haven't heard a doctor that say a surgery was unsuccessful. So he's out. I talked to a doctor that does just those surgeries. He said 6 to 8 weeks. If you're lucky, 4 to 6 weeks. But the team, here's the problem. The guy that's putting this team together, has put this team together, is an idiot. Because you can't fall apart when you lose just one player. They have not put themselves in a position to have any kind of success with losing one player. That's not the way it should be. You should have built a team without depending on the one player. So Daryl Morey, we know, is a fraud. We know he's an idiot. We know he's never won anywhere. It's just he's conned the Sixers into, and he got another 3 years with an extension. Number one, let's go back. I said they should have traded him before the season started, and all hell broke loose because he always gets hurt. I don't care how he got hurt. He always gets hurt. So you have to start preparing and move on because you're not going to win a championship with Joel Embiid on your team. Now they can't trade him because he's got almost no trade value. So 4 weeks is the low end. They're going to reevaluate at the end of 4 weeks. I would say probably closer to 6 to 8 weeks is probably realistic. And then you got to understand when he comes back, what kind of shape is he going to be in? We've seen that story before. So it goes right from the top. They have put themselves in a bad position because they didn't put enough players around him. Daryl Morey, you should walk out and resign because you have done nothing to move this franchise forward into winning a championship.
Howard, we haven't agreed much lately, but I think you're right on this one. And they should have moved on a while ago. They didn't do it. All right, Howard, we got a lot to cover today. So let's talk about the Brazil thing. Are you ready for a trip to Brazil? What do you think? Week 1, Friday night, Brazil. We were trying to guess who they might play. We think Green Bay could be the opponent. What do you think about going to Brazil, Howard?
All right. I'm not excited about it because now they have more home games than more road games than home games last year. Now they have more road games than home games this year. They'll have more road games than home games next year because this, for all intents and purposes, is a road game. It sounds great. I didn't realize it was as long a flight. Somebody told me it's about 8 hours.
Oh, I saw 12. You better get ready, Howard.
Oh, my gosh. Another long flight. This was the toughest schedule this year for the Eagles because of the travel, because they played the NFC West, and then, of course, the time changes and the night games and Monday night and all that kind of nonsense. So it's great in theory to play in Brazil, and everybody's all excited. I wish if it was a road game, I'd say okay. But now we have 9 road games again, and the travel is brutal. And here's what I'm thinking on the opponent. You guys are going down the wrong road here, which is not uncommon for you guys to go down the wrong road. I got to give you directions all the time. That's why, Goldie Beckham's going to give me a doctorate to try to help in another area. So the reality is I think they will play Carolina or Atlanta in Brazil.
Well, that's a win, but that's not an exciting matchup.
No, it doesn't matter. With the NFL, it's the only game on TV. It's Friday night. It will be the opening of the season, and that is the reality of it. Do you think those people in Brazil know that Carolina and Atlanta stink? Do you think they have any clue? It's the Eagles. And that's all that matters. And it really would be unfair to take away Pittsburgh, who doesn't come to Philadelphia that often, or Green Bay. It would be unfair to take away those home games from the fans. It's bad enough you're taking away a home game. So that's my guess. Because the people in Brazil, they don't know that those
Yeah,
teams
you're
suck.
right. You could be right on this, but usually those opening...
Well, I'm right on most things.
Well, sometimes. But the opening week matchups, Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday, they usually try to put together some pretty eye-popping ones for TV. Carolina, off of 2 wins,
that's
bad.
Yeah, but all you need is one team.
I know.
That's all you need is one team, and you have the cachet and the marquee value of the Eagles and Jalen Hurts. I'm sure that the people in Brazil will probably stream us to know that if they lose, it's the coach's fault. It's never the players. It's always the coaches.
Well, if they lose to Carolina, it's everybody.
They're not going to lose to Carolina.
No, I agree with that.
They're not going to lose to Atlanta. I mean, I listen to these coaches. I can't stand the phoniness of new coaches. Dan Quinn with all his nonsense. And then who is the coach of Atlanta? And when
Raheem Morris.
Raheem Morris. Okay, Raheem Morris, I guess at his news conference, he asked about winning a championship. And for us, he says, why not? Well, you don't have a quarterback. I mean, this nonsense that they throw out all this garbage. And Dan Quinn, to say the Washington, whatever their name's going to be, is in position to win right now. I mean, I can't stand it when guys give just complete nonsense and BS when they do those news conferences. Dan Quinn, you were the 5th choice of that team. They didn't even want you, brother. So, and you're going to give all this garbage and nonsense.
That is the truth. All right, Howard, let's talk about teams that can win a championship. Someone will on Sunday. 49ers and the Chiefs. Howard, as you sit here on Tuesday, what's your gut on the game? And everyone seems to be on the Chiefs, and I understand why. Andy and Mahomes, they're a great team, but they are underdogs. They're 2.5-point underdogs, and that line has moved back towards the 49ers. What do you think about this game Sunday, Howard?
All right, and here's what's confused. Well, I'm a little confused, but you got to understand it wouldn't be called gambling if it wasn't gambling. Kansas City has the best coach, in the game. They have the best quarterback in the game. Why are they the underdog? Why are they the underdog? San Francisco really kind of struggled in both games to get to the Super Bowl. I don't understand why San Francisco is the favorite. It's driving me crazy. Sometimes the line tells me something. Now, I know it's only 2, and we'll see if it gets to a pick, and I don't think it's going to go to a pick by Sunday. We'll see where the sharp money comes in. But that's what's got me confused. I'm not sure yet. Believe it or not, I'm leaning towards San Francisco because everybody likes Kansas City, yet the line's not coming down. So if everybody likes Kansas City, somebody's betting San Francisco too. And I think it's the sharp money that's keeping that line. It went down to 1, and then it went back up to 2.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, why? I just, that's what's got me crazy. So I'm not sure yet, but I want to see what the line does. But I'm leaning towards San Francisco, although obviously I like to see Kansas City win because I think Kyle Shanahan, I think, is an overrated head coach. Good, but overrated. So I'd like to see Andy Reid, so we don't have to listen to all this Kyle Shanahan love that we're going to get. Brock Purdy is Brock Purdy. I mean, he's done a nice job, but their defense wins games. But Kansas City's defense is pretty good.
It is very good.
I'm leaning towards San Francisco. By the way, there's one thing that I want to tell you guys. You got to stop with Jalen Hurts is probably going to get it's surgery or procedure or whatever you want to call it. With Joel Embiid, they called it a procedure. That was surgery. But I talked to people, and there was nothing.
So just the bone bruise, but no surgery.
That they were going to have him have any kind of surgery.
Okay, well that's good. I mean, long term that is good.
So what happened to him? He had a bone bruise. It's not an internal bone bruise. Is not an internal thing, so that doesn't require surgery. Maybe he just got slower. He did
overnight.
Get slower.
Well, so hold on, Howard. With that, if you add up his carries, like him rushing the ball, I know we debated this last summer, but if you go back to Alabama, Oklahoma, the Eagles, he's run the ball over 1,100 times since the start of college. There is a chance he just lost a step. It happens to running backs all the time.
I know, and a couple of people said it to me from the team and said, "Well, he just got slower." I said, you don't think that's going to happen, but maybe it does. And maybe it's a good thing. He's just going to have to learn better ways to be a pocket passer, which is the way you win. He can scramble out of trouble, but running is not the way that you win.
Shouldn't be his priority. Yeah,
it shouldn't be his priority. Lamar Jackson, I think, really improved this year, but you can't be a running quarterback. And I mean, obviously they got shut down by Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes is not a running quarterback. He's a quarterback that buys time because of his legs, but he's a quarterback, and he knows what he's doing. And you look at his rushes; he doesn't have that many rushes per game.
No, he's the best. All right, Howard, let's end with
no surgery.
Okay, that's good. All right, Howard, let's end with this. A couple days ago, Bob Nightingale, USA Today, threw out the two names for the Phillies: Bellinger, Montgomery. Howard, do you think there's a chance they get in on either? And if so, which one you think would be more likely? Cody Bellinger, a bat, or Jordan Montgomery, a starting pitcher?
Now, does Scott Boras represent both of them? I think he represents Montgomery, right?
I know he represents Bellinger. I'll look on Montgomery, but definitely Bellinger.
Well, it depends on what Bryce Harper wants, because Bryce Harper wants somebody, and that's his agent. So Bryce Harper will tell him to work with the team to bring him to the Phillies. I think they're
both Montgomery. They're both Boras, by the way.
There you go. Hey, one of them's coming, no question, because the general manager Bryce Harper wants them to come. So that will be taken care of. I think they're going to get a pitcher. I think Montgomery. I think they'll go after Montgomery more than Bellinger, because it's probably easier, I think, to find a bat during the season, if you have to trade for one, but they know they need a starting pitcher. So I think it's more likely, and I've been saying all along, Dave Dombrowski is a pretty sharp guy. He knows what he's got to do. But you remember, patience is a virtue, and they waited on Bryce Harper. Now they still paid I don't know if they paid too much money. They paid more than they wanted to pay. But you're not going to pay what he wants. I mean, they got who was that stiff pitcher they got that was only signed for $75 million? Why do I
Taijuan Walker. Taijuan.
No, the guy, but years ago.
Oh, Jake Arrieta.
Jake Arrieta.
Okay. And he was a stiff here. Yeah, he was.
Okay, so they waited until late. I mean, Boras wanted $200 million. He got $75 from the Phillies. So he's going to have to wait. If nobody's going to pay it, then he'll have to come down. I think absolutely positive. I always thought they were going to get a starter, and I think Montgomery is a better shot than Bellinger. I don't think they can go after both of them, because you got to save some of that for something that you might need during the season. And Bellinger is back and forth. You watch his career, and is he hurt? Is he not hurt? But Montgomery, they need a starting pitcher, and I think they're more likely to get him. And I absolutely believe before the season starts they will have another starting pitcher on this team.
All right,
sure.
that sounds good. Howard, we appreciate you hopping on. Enjoy the rest of Super Bowl week, and we'll talk soon, Howard.
You know what? I can't wait to help you guys again anytime you need
Appreciate it.
We'll see if we agree as much next time.
Hey, you.
Yes.
You. I'm going to bring you $1 bill, and just live on that for a day, okay?
I appreciate it. All the money I can get, everything I can get.
There he goes. Howard Eskin, getting ready for a trip to Brazil. Thank you, Howard.